Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. I hope you had a wonderful day. If not, let's see if we can end that on a good note. You have already seen the agenda. I apologize for this 24. Like, we'll have only 12 sessions, and this is the seventh session and not the 11th session. I hope that's fine. Yeah, we did 24 sessions for the previous batch, but I realized people were not doing homework, so I don't want to do it like like do 24 sessions because people were not doing homework after 16 or 17 sessions. Anyhow, this is the agenda. So even though the seventh point is exercises on Konjunktiv II, I would like to start with this because we did access like we understood or we learned or you learned that what Konjunktiv II is and which ones do you need to know. So almost every verb has Konjunktiv II. That means every verb has conjugations in Konjunktiv II, and you need to know. But you don't need to know for these conjugations for all of the verbs. Just few of them will be enough. And let's see if we can do exercises on them, guys. So try to be as active as you can. Otherwise, I mean, how else will you learn if you're not participating? So, okay, I hope you can see this. So, guys, this is a sentence. So we'll go through, I believe, 5 to 6 sentences, and you have to tell me how do you say these sentences in German. Again, these sentences are very, very, how do I say, simple, and they look silly, but you can use them anywhere. So all you have to do is, like for example, this sentence: if the boss were in office, replace office with something else, and then you can use it there as well. We could ask him for advice, replace him and advice. We could ask blah blah for blah blah, and then you can use it wherever you want. So please tell me, how do I say this in German? Please understand, these sentences are in Connected zwei. So tell me, how do I say if the boss were in office? Okay, also here, not just connective, you also have to use when. The syntax of when. When you use when, where the verb goes, and in the second sentence, so after comma, this is Nebensatz. And here also you have to be careful with the sentence structure. So where the verb is, where the subject is. So anyone who wants to answer, please go ahead. How do I say this? If the boss were in office, we could ask him for advice. Who wants to go? Wrong answers are fine. Right answers are also appreciated. Okay, how do I say the boss
Mm.
is in office? Suraj, go ahead. You want to answer, right?
Uh, when when the chef is in the bureau war,
So
when their chef in
yeah.
bureau war,
So just think, I'm not saying was, I'm saying were. So if I say, for example, the connected so for example, I have, for example, I am, let's say, I am, I am, I was poor, I am rich. If I wish I were a millionaire. So this is different. This is now imaginary. If the boss were in office, we could ask him for advice. So you are not talking about past tense. For example, let's say you are in the office and you and your colleagues have run into some problem and you need advice, and the boss is not there on that specific day. Let's say, you and Suraj, you and I work in office and we cannot solve a problem, and we are just talking, man, if the boss were here, we could have asked him for advice. Now, how do you say this?
when their chef in bureau uh, wäre,
Correct. And the chef in Bureau wäre. So sein is present, waren is past, wären is Konjunktiv zwei. So when the chef in Bureau wäre, and then
uh, konnte wir in bureau in Rat fragen.
so also when you say this, right, you have to be careful. So when you say be careful, are you saying in or im?
In I IHN.
IHM. Okay. Again, say the entire sentence. So when the chef in Bureau wäre,
Konnten wir ihn Rat
so
fragen?
why do you say It's right,
In
but I
dem
want to see know why do you say it.
mm, it's what is it?
Whatever it comes to mind, just say. There are no wrong answers. I mean, of course, there are wrong answers, but I just want to hear what the wrong answer is or what the right answer is. Why are you not just saying könnten wir ihm Rat fragen? Why are you saying Rat fragen? Okay, seems like you don't want to answer. So,
The him,
yeah,
him, right?
him I understood, but why are you saying Rat? Why are you not saying für Rat? So here the word is for, right? Why are you not saying für Rat? Why are you saying Rat? Your answer is correct. Okay.
That's
All right. So the correct answer is wenn der Chef im Büro wäre, könnten wir ihn Rat fragen. So fragen, fragen is jemanden fragen. Again, this is a mistake. It has to be accusative and not dative. So ihn Rat fragen. Why You remember? So those who were in A1 sessions and also those who are, in A2 sessions, there was a session where I had a slide and I told you that whenever you learn a verb, learn the verb in its entirety. That means when you learn a verb, learn in how with how many different prepositions it can be used. So first you learn jemand, first you learn fragen, just to fragen, to ask. Then you should learn jemanden, not okay, this is wrong. It should be accusative. Jemanden fragen, okay, to ask someone. Then you learn jemanden etwas fragen, to ask for. So the answer, the answer that I was expecting from Suraj was that's how the verb is. That's how the German language is with respect to this verb. When you want to say ask for something, so it will be Rat fragen. So Rat, it advice. Okay. So uh, what is the verb for advice? So advise and not s. So advice is like is a noun, and advise is a verb. So what is advice as a verb in German?
Beratung.
No, no, I'm looking for. So Beratung, it's again. So that is ce. And okay, many people don't even know this in English. That this is a noun, and if I change it to s, it becomes a verb. So what is how to say to advise as a verb? Beratung was correct, but it is a noun. But I need a verb.
Beratung.
Beraten is one, right? Or vorschlagen or something like that. Again, grammar understand when you use when, the verb has to go to the last position. The conjugated verb has to go to the last position. And here, Nebensatz, you have the verb and just interchange the positions of the verb and the subject. So könnten wir ihn Rat fragen. The reason we are using könnten and not können because it is imaginary. We could ask him for it if the boss were here. Again, so jemanden Rat fragen, jemanden Erlaubnis fragen. Erlaubnis, you can just replace what this Rat with Erlaubnis, to ask for permission. You know, you can also replace this with Geld. Jemanden Geld fragen. Okay, jemanden whatever you want to ask for. Okay, so this is how you should learn. Learn a verb in its entirety. Okay, this sentence, guys. Who wants to answer? Again, there is a comma missing after desirable. How do I say this? If you are looking for answers from me, I will not give directly. First, I want answers from you. Ashok?
Yeah, sorry, Rohit. The last time I missed the class, so
Okay, no problem. No
the
problem.
others
No
answer.
problem.
Yeah,
Go to the recording if you have time. Okay. Apurva, do you
sure,
want to
sure.
try? I'm not looking for wrong, right? I'm just looking for some answer. Yeah.
I don't know how to say desirable.
Okay, how do you say it would be?
Es wollte.
Volta. Did you say Volta or something else?
Yes.
But Volta is no, no. How do I say I want to? So would is, so I'm not saying,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
How do I say? Again, you can just say replace would be with it were. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not looking for one-to-one translation. Again, for example, I like for example, I this meeting starts at 5:30 and people join at 5:35, right? And at that moment, I'm thinking, man, it were desirable, or it would be desirable if everybody joins on time. This is what I'm trying to say. So I'm talking about something imaginary. So how do I say it would be desire? It would be blah blah. How do I say it would be blah blah? Again, how?
Espere.
Yeah, correct. Espero. That's it. Uh, any other verb? Okay, so desirable. And you can just give me any word which is around. Which conveys the context. So I want to say anything. Around desirable. You can give me any adjective which is something like desirable or expected, or I mean, you can just say good. That's also fine. But desirable, no. Okay. Yeah.
Net.
Net, of course, you can say net. Okay, guys, the reason I'm focusing on this word, many of you are living here in Germany, and most of the conversations that happen, at least in my circle, and whenever it comes to business, no one speaks directly. It's always like said in a passive manner. So, even if I'm asking a colleague to do some job, I will not say, please. I will just say, it will be nice if you do this. It would be desirable. It would be nice. This is why I'm asking you to learn these words. So how do you say, okay, so you don't know that, so let's go with net. Okay, how do I say the next part? If all colleagues come on time to the meeting. Came, okay, not come, came, past tense, came. How do I say this? Just replace all. Just tell me, how do I say blah blah came on time to the meeting? How do I say this? How do you say come? How do you say to come?
Common.
Common, okay. And then how do you say to something? What's the word for to?
Not.
Zuntreffen.
Okay, you can go for treffen, no problem. But then you have to tell me treffen is there, the or das. I will go with meeting
There.
because it is there. Okay, let's go with there. So if you say zu and after zu, it's almost always, if you have to take a guess, go with dative. Okay. So now tell me, how do I say colleagues came to the meeting? Past tense. Okay, tell me, how do I say present? Colleagues come to the meeting.
Alle Kollegen kommen zum Treffen.
Okay, how do I say on time as an adjective?
On-site.
No,
Pünktlich.
no. I mean, yeah, on-site. I mean, your answer. I mean, that's a nice try, but no one says it like that. But I mean, a nice try. Pünktlich, pünktlich. I mean, you're saying, okay, pünktlich is punctual, but it has to convey the meaning. Okay. So again, complete entire sentence with pünktlich, please.
Alle Kollegen kommen pünktlich zum Treffen.
Correct. Okay, so you say that. Now you have to say colleagues came on time to the meeting. Past tense. How do I say I came? Or he came, she came, they came. How do you say came? There are two options. Either you can use preteritum or you can use participe zwei. So if you go with preteritum, life is difficult. If you go with participe zwei, life is easier. Because with participe zwei, you don't need to know the conjugations of the verb for all variations. You just need to know participe zwei. And you only have to know the conjugation of sein or haben. So if you don't know this, it is not nice. Please tell me, how do I
Sie
say? Yeah.
Hier kommt.
The
Sie
noun
kommt.
is participle zwei. Okay, entire sentence, please.
I'm not sure about plural past form.
Just give me present. What? Just tell me, how do you say colleague? A colleague. Just go with a colleague. A colleague came on time to the meeting.
Ein Kollege
Yeah.
kommt
No, past tense. So
pünktlich. Okay, ein Kollege kommt pünktlich zu dem Termin oder Treffen.
so this is, so the part preteritum of common, but it's, I mean,
Yeah.
normally people don't. Normally people go with participe zwei. So they will go with ha like this. Subject haben sein, and then at the end participe zwei of the actual verb. So now how will the sentence? So which one will you use, haben or sein, and why? Ashok, if I were to ask you,
Sein.
yeah, sorry,
Sein.
sein. So you will use sein. So tell me the sentence. And what is the participle zwei of common?
Gekommen.
Okay, so you know this. Now give me the sentence.
Äh, alle Kollegen sind pünktlich zum Treffen gekommen.
Correct. Now just so now this is right. Now I told you that now, but I'm talking about imaginary situation. So you will use the verb sein, right? Now you don't have to use sein. You have to use what if it is imaginary?
Werde.
No, wären. So sein, wären, not werden, wären. Is it clear, Apurva, why wären and not why what not? Is it clear why I'm saying wären?
No, actually.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying.
Can you
So
please repeat?
so I'm saying the main. So here gekommen will remain gekommen, right? Now instead of you are using sind because you are thinking the verb is sein, but I'm talking about an imaginary situation. You know what I'm saying? So it did not really happen. It would be desirable if all the colleagues came on time to the meeting. This is imaginary situation, right? So you cannot use sein. You have to use Konjunktiv II of sein, and Konjunktiv II of sein is wären. Clear or not? Even not clear.
Yes, so Zin will be replaced by where?
Okay, it will be replaced by wären. So now the sentence is.
Okay.
Please give me the sentence.
Alle Kollegen werden pünktlich zum Meeting gekommen.
Okay, now if I use if, and what verb do I have to use for if in German?
Wenn
When. Now if I use when, how will the sentence change?
wenn alle Kollegen pünktlich zum Treffen gekommen wären.
Correct. You just push the conjugated verb to the last position. Now you can go with treffen, but in my head, at least in my social circle, if I say treffen, it sounds like a place where people are actually going to meet. But I'm talking about online meeting, right? So for example, let's say it's a society meeting where people actually go to the society and talk, in person meeting. But I'm talking about an online meeting. So if you ask me again, this is just my opinion, not a fact. Treffen is not the correct word, not the accurate word. You have to go with meeting or Besprechung. Okay, or you can go for termin is kind of like an appointment. Okay, so now tell me how the entire sentence es wäre. You can go with net for desirable, even though it is wrong. Entire sentence, please, Apurva.
What to say to meeting?
You can just go with meeting
Okay.
or Besprechung. If you use Besprechung, is it there, the or das, Apurva?
There?
No.
Oh,
So
sorry,
the right?
the.
Why?
Yes, yes.
Any hint?
It ends with ung.
Correct. So now give me the sentence, please.
Es wäre nett, wenn alle Kollegen pünktlich zur what was that word?
Besprechung.
Besprechung gekommen wären.
Correct. Perfect. Right. So again, now you must. Thank you, Apurva, for participating. It's really nice. Now some of you may be thinking, okay, man, this German language is really difficult. No, it's not that difficult. It's difficult for the first time, but just imagine how often do you say things like this, and now you think, okay, do I really have to do I have to really push the conjugated verb to the last position? Uh, in exam, yes. In real life, not really. But the reason I'm pushing you to say it with correct grammar is because if you start doing mistakes right now, mistakes will stick with you. So you can do mistakes once you have become an expert, because at least you will know you are doing a mistake. So uh, desirable, there are many ways to say desirable. I go with wünschenswert or erwünscht. Okay. Subject, this wäre has been conjugated, and alle Kollegen pünktlich zur Besprechung kämen. Okay, I went with uh, I actually wrote this sentence in participes, so as I said, uh, let me just try this. Let me look for Leo, and I look for the verb, boy, common. Okay, now I look for this one. Okay, so is the screen visible? I have opened Leo now. Just thumbs up if it is visible. Okay, thank you. Now, so here are the conjugation in presence, right? Ich comma, du kommst. Here are the ones in preteritum. Okay. Now, here in Konjunktiv II, you have them also for preteritum. You know what I'm saying? So Konjunktiv II does not just simply exist in presence; it also exists in preteritum. But you don't need to learn all these things. I used it just to tell you that So Cayman is p- connected, so I don't need to learn it. All you have to do is just use the. But this is why you should always try to frame sentences in perfect, in participes y format. And you don't need to. Then you just write the actual verb in participes y, and you only write sind, sein, or haben in connectives y. This is why I request you to use participes y as much as you can. Let's continue, guys. So far we have done two examples. So again, just want to tell you, right? So when you learn something, don't just like learn it and just move forward. When you learn any verb, any adjective, anything, try to see in how many different ways you can use it, and try to, I mean, like under, how do you say, quotes, try to under quotes exploit that verb or that word or that adjective. What do you mean by exploit? For example, the verb common, right? So common means to come, zu etwas dative, to come to something. Now uncommon, what does uncommon mean, guys? If you travel in train, then you must know what uncommon means.
It's arrive.
Arrive, right? But it is trennbare verb. So when you write, it will, for example, the train arrives, der Zug kommt an. Okay, so this is also another way to use uncommon. Then there's this etwas dative nach common. You may not know this, so it means to oblige, or to comply, or to cope with something. For example, every company has to oblige to the government's rules. Now you are saying, when am I going to use this? You don't know, but you will use it at some point. Let's say, after a few years, when you uh, how do you say, climb the ladder in your company, you may have to, you know you may have to use such a language, to oblige, to comply, to such things. For example, or it can be, something as unsere Produktion kann der Nachfrage nicht nachkommen. That means our production can meet the demand. Our production can cope up with the demand. You know, uh, I don't think this sentence is correct, because the Bedarf and Nachfrage, it's the same thing. Okay, I was looking for a sentence like, supply is more than the demand, or demand is more than the supply. I could not think of the word. What? How do you say? I mean, of course, I can check in Leo, but I was thinking if I know it, like it's already there in memory. So how do you say supply? Okay, this is what I mean. When you there are many, uncommon, for example, mid common. Uh, I'm saying, like, when you learn anything, just see in how many different ways you can use the same thing. How do I say this, guys? How do I say something is available?
Etwas ist verfügbar.
Correct. Now, how do I say something were available? If, right? Imaginary.
Wäre
Where?
verfügbar.
Right now? Okay, perfect. How do I say something like were always available?
Etwas wäre immer erreichbar.
So erreichbar, for example, let's say if I call you and if you pick up my phone all the time, that means you are always erreichbar. Okay. But let's say if I go to the fridge and in your fridge there is ice cream, always ice cream, then I cannot say that ice cream is erreichbar. I will say ice cream is, this is not erreichbar, because the difference. Someone is available, that is different. But I'm talking about technical support were all okay. Erreichbar is not, but here I'm looking for something which is always there.
Etwas wäre immer
No, but I think someone already gave the verb. Like, how do you say available?
verfügbar. Verfügbar.
Verfügbar, right? Etwas wäre immer verfügbar. Now, how do I say if something were always available?
Wenn etwas wäre
When etwas immer verfügbar wäre.
Okay, now you have to replace etwas with support. How do I say support? And if you give me support, and if you want to take care of my blood pressure,
Unterstützung.
support, give me the word with the correct article.
Die Unterstützung.
Correct. Now tell me, how do I say this entire sentence? You know the drill, right? Just tell me.
If
No. German.
if
German.
no, sorry. Wenn wenn die Unterstützung, nee, wenn die Technical Unterstützung immer verfügbar wäre.
Okay. Now here, if you so technical is kind of like, okay, if you say this in real life, you can just, let's say if you are complaining about your technical support to your boss, if you say when the technical Unterstützung immer erreichbar wäre, of course your boss will know what you are saying. But let's say if you are writing a book, if you say technical support, your book, people will, you will never become your book will never become bestseller because there are grammatical mistakes in your book. So what is because you're mixing German and English, so how do you say technical in German? Yeah, I'm looking for
Technische.
technischer. So now it's an adjective, right? So we have to be careful with adjective ending. Okay, so adjective ending you have to use. So let's go over the rules. So whenever we looked at these few rules, right? So whenever it is dative, genitive, plural, what is the adjective ending? Whenever it is
En.
sorry,
En.
n, right? Whenever it is feminine, what is the adjective ending? Of course, like singular.
E.
A. Okay. And support, you just said die Unterstützung, right? So what will be the ending?
Technische Unterstützung.
Correct. Entire sentence, please.
Wenn die technische Unterstützung immer verfügbar wäre,
Okay. And now let's start with the next sentence, please. You can
konnten,
continue. Yeah.
konnten wir die konnten, nee, konnten wir die technischen Probleme lösen. Nee, schneller lösen.
Correct. Perfect. Right. Because this time she said n because it is plural. And more, so more quick, quick is like schnell, and because more quickly will be schneller. How do you say, like, okay, the sentence will not make sense, but if I have to go one order higher, so schnell, schneller, and then like quickest, how do I say quickest?
Am schnellsten.
Am schnellsten.
Perfect, right? Am schnellsten. So thank you very much for the answer, guys. So this is why, again, you can replace technical support with something else. You can hear this in movies, like a couple is fighting and they're saying, if you were always available, we would not have these problems, something like this. you know we could solve the technical problems. You can replace solve with something else. We could blah blah more quickly. We could leave early, anything. This is why these are basic sentences which you can use. Okay, now again, try to, when you learn something.
Dann hier,
Yeah.
sorry, hier erreichbar ist wrong then, oder?
Yeah. Okay, it is not wrong, but it is, how do you say? So it depends how you think about it. So if I say this, wenn die technische Unterstützung immer erreichbar wäre, that means they are available, but they are just not picking up my call. Clear what I'm saying?
Ja.
Yeah. Again, it's not wrong. It depends what you think about it. If you say verfügbar, that means again, now it's the gray line. So you cannot just go. I mean, you can say verfügbar as well, but let's change the context. For example, let's replace salt. For example, wenn Salz immer verfügbar wäre, Now you cannot say Salz immer erreichbar wäre, because it doesn't make sense. How, why is salt not reachable? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Does
Uh,
this answer your question or no?
yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay. Yeah. Now the verb lösen, right? Again, there is nothing fancy about Veren, but the verb lösen is very fancy. When I say fancy, you can use it in many different ways. So lösen, etwas accusative lösen is to solve something. Etwas accusative auslösen is to trigger something off. Can you think of any example where where this will happen in your life? Something gets triggered. Again, the meaning is changed because now the meaning is different. What happens when you cook, especially if you are cooking every now and then and you are new in Germany? What happens in the kitchen? You always have a fire alarm, right?
Smoke erupts.
Right? Smoke erupts, and that's why the fire alarm gets triggered. So, so if you want to say so smoke triggers fire alarm. How will you say smoke triggers fire alarm? So smoke, you said, how do you say smoke, guys?
Der Rauch.
Der Rauch löst bla bla aus. Der Rauch löst Feueralarm aus. Sich Akkusativ auflöst, this is reflexive verb. So to dissolve something, salt dissolves in water. Or how do I say salt dissolves? Come on, how do I say salt dissolves? Everything is there in front of you. You just have to arrange them properly. So what is salt in German?
Salz.
Salz. And use this verb for me, please. We discussed reflexive verb, right, in the very first sentence. So you have subject, verb, and then the reflexive pronomen. And if the verb was trennbare, then subject, verb, reflexive pronomen, and the prefix.
Salz löst sich auf.
Correct. Salz löst sich auf. Die Auflösung. What do you think this means? It's a noun, of course. So when you watch when you are watching a video on YouTube, and the screen, like, you cannot read, the video is not clear. What is the first thing that you do? What are the things that you do?
Increase the resolution.
Yeah, and that was it means. Resolution is Auflösung. Again, the meaning changes completely. You'll say, "Man, it's so complicated." No, it's so sophisticated. You can use one word and use it to say so many different things. We went from solving problem to your kitchen, again to your kitchen salt, and then we went to your screen. Okay, questions, guys? Please ask. I was expecting this to happen. Like, go okay. This sentence, please. You know, every guy complains about this in their project. You can replace resources with
Mehr Ressourcen hätten.
louder. One more time.
Wenn wir mehr Ressourcen hätten.
Hätten. Again, this is imaginary. Okay, you can say hatten, but I'm talking about if, let's say my boss is saying, and for example, why did we not meet the deadline? And I'm like, boss, if we had just more people. Again, this is imaginary. So you can go with hatten, but you should go with hätten. Again, Rishi, answer.
So what do you suggest? Hätten or
I will
hatten?
go with hätten.
Hätten.
Also, one more tip, you will see this Konjunktiv II being used very often in, like, at least in German society, at least in my circle, that because they use it all the time. For example, könntest du bitte das machen? Ich hätte gerne. For example, uh, if you go to a restaurant and you will see that people don't say, ich will Cola oder so. They will say, ich hätte gerne ein Cola. I would like to have, not like I want to have. They will say, ich hätte gerne ein Cola. It's something like having a cola, but you're putting out this request, and they have to you wait for them to fulfill your request. So entire answer, please, Rishi.
Wenn wir mehrere Ressourcen hätten, könnten wir die Projekt
How do you say? You can, you don't need have to say complete. Just think, how do you say, to finish, complete. But what would you? How will you say, finish the task, complete the task, something like that. It's a very basic way.
Marken.
Yeah.
Ausschließen,
Sorry.
Abschließen.
Abschließen is one.
Fertig
No?
machen.
Fertig machen is one. Suraj, fertig machen, is it trennbare or not trennbare?
No, it's not a trend.
It is trennbare. Okay, but here it does not matter because, you are using modal verb, so it doesn't matter. But fertig machen is trennbare. Okay, ich mache das fertig. I finish it. And how do you say early?
Früher.
Bald,
So sorry, what did you say, Sureshi?
bald,
No, bald is soon.
Früher.
Free. Okay, so you can say frew or you can say frewer. Now you have to tell me as per your judgment. Again, there is no exam, so you should tell me what are you trying to say, like early or earlier. I'm saying early, but if you think, again, it depends on the context. Sometimes you say early, but you mean earlier. So you can say go for frew or frewer. Am frühesten. Complete, you can say abschließen, fertig machen, beenden. But do you? I think no one pointed out this mistake. The project, is it the project?
Das Projekt.
Das project. Okay. The entire sentence, please, Rishi.
uh, wenn wir mehrere Ressourcen hätten, könnten wir das Projekt früher
Abschließen, fertig machen, beenden. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You don't say mehrere. Mehrere, it is different. It just say mehr. Okay.
mehr.
Okay. Just say mehr. How do you say mehr? Mehr. Yeah. Something like that. Mehr. Okay. When we are mehr Ressourcen, so don't try to say it like English. You say Ressourcen, or Ressourcen hätten. Say it like, sauce, resource, sauce, Ressourcen. Clear? Don't say resource, just say sauce, resource, Ressourcen. Wenn wir mehr Ressourcen hätten, könnten wir das Projekt früh abschließen. Okay, this is fine. Beenden, fertig machen, there can be more words, okay? You can also say, yeah. So again, let's see if we can learn something from schließen. Etwas accusative schließen. So abschließen means to complete, right? But just schließen means to close or lock, lock the door, lock the buildings. Then etwas accusative aus etwas dative schließen, okay? Etwas accusative aus etwas dative schließen means to infer or gather something from something. For example, right now I'm saying something, you'll say, okay, Rohit, this is what I infer from what you are saying. You'll say, das ist, was ich aus deiner Folie schließe. You know what I'm saying? So you can use, again, the same verb, but meaning changes, to infer or to gather. Aufschließen, to unlock. Uh, Etwas accusative abschließen, to finish, complete, finalize. Etwas accusative ausschließen. Okay, now not abschließen, it is ausschließen. It means to exclude something or rule something out. For example, you and boss are discussing, you are in a meeting and we are discussing some, let's say we are in a meeting and we are discussing some steps that we can take. And there is this step which is very obvious we cannot take. And you can say, die Option können wir ausschließen. We can exclude this option. Aufgeschlossen is an adjective. It means open-minded, outgoing. You will see this in many advertisements for jobs. Man sollte aufgeschlossen sein, blah, blah, blah. What is this? Okay, this obvious. Reißverschluss, Verschlüsse, plural. It means zipper. I don't think you need to know this word, but if you know, it's always nice. So again, the same word, but we can use it in so many different ways. There can be many more uses. This is like from my life that in my life I use all these things. How do you say this one? Last one, I believe. You can replace would be with were. It were helpful if we already had the necessary information.
Es wäre hilfreich.
Yeah.
Wenn wir schon
Immer noch.
Imanok is like, what does Imanok mean, guys? Wait, just wait. What does Imanok mean?
Even now.
Immer noch.
No, Imanok means something else. It means,
Always again.
it means still. I it means still. Okay. Are you still doing this? Machst du das immer noch? Something like that. So, how do you say already?
Knock.
No.
Schon.
Sorry. Shown. Yes, you can say shown. What else?
Knock.
No, knock is
bald.
no, bald is soon, right? Come on, this is very basic word. You should know this. Something with bay.
Bereits.
Bereits. Okay, now give me the answer, please.
Es wäre hilfreich, wenn wir bereits die Informationen
Only the verb is missing now.
Nötig.
Notisch.
No, you just have to say no. No. Everything was. She just did not say how to say had. How do you say had? She forgot to say the verb. Now give the entire answer, please. I believe you have the answer.
Es wäre hilfreich, wenn wir bereits die
Information.
notwendigen Informationen hatten.
Hätten.
Hatten.
Not Harten. Harten again. Harten is not wrong, but you're talking about imaginary situations. Okay. Again, on paper, there is nothing wrong. It depends what you're talking about. For example, Hatton. It takes some practice. The best thing you can do. Okay. But you said information, and that is singular. And singular information is there, the or das.
Der.
No, it is the.
Das.
Die Information.
The.
Das
Okay.
Information.
Whenever it is sion, it is almost always the. And if you say singular and you say notwendig, it depends on your city where you live. Some people say notwendig, some people say notwendig. I will go with notwendig. What is the adjective ending over here?
Ian.
No, it is singular. Why is it Ian?
Singular. Okay.
And it is feminine, then it will be a. Again,
Yeah.
plural makes more sense because information you're talking about informationen, then it will be notwendigen information hätten. Okay. So es wäre hilfreich, wenn wir bereits die, again I go with erforderliche Informationen hätten. Difference between notwendig and erforderlich, people can fight on this, but for me, notwendig is not wrong, but when I say erforderlich, it means like it's utmost necessary. It cannot go without it. For example, Salz ist in meinem Essen erforderlich. Gewürze is notwendig. It is there, it's fine. But Salz I need for sure. Again, people can fight on this, difference between notwendig and erforderlich. You have to decide for yourself. Even in Leo, you will find many meanings. Okay. Let's see few more verbs. This verbs informieren. Jemanden über etwas Akkusativ informieren, to inform someone about something. It just need not mean inform. It can mean brief, fill someone. Can you fill someone in after a meeting? Your boss, hey, can you fill me in on the topics? On the meetings or minutes of the meetings. Informieren. Then you have this sich Akkusativ über etwas Akkusativ informieren. It means to catch up on something. You join a new project and your boss says, Rohit, how is it going? And you say, I will say, Boss, yeah, it's going well. Ich werde mich schnell über die Sachen informieren. I will catch up. Ich werde mich schnell über die Yeah, über die Information, yeah, informieren. I will catch up with the information quicker or fast. The word is still the same, but now here it means to catch up on something because it is now reflexive. Sich accusative informierens to catch up. If you want to say on something, then you will have to use über, and after über, that something will be in accusative case. There can be many other ways to use inform, just like simple informieren. Ich informiere, I inform someone. Ich informiere jemanden. I inform someone about something. Ich informiere jemanden über etwas Akkusativ. Okay. Homework is very simple. Just look at these sentences. It will be part of the recording. Just try to see, how often can you say this? You will. I mean, depends on what kind of movies you watch, but you will hear all of the this Hetten. If, for example, in for example in Breaking Bad, they talk like this. They always talk in terms of in passive voice. If this was there, this would be possible. Something like that. Now, we could not. I mean, we could just okay. One thing I want to cover today is that I always say that in a sentence, whenever you have dative and accusative objects, the dative object will be placed before the accusative object. Ich gebe die Bücher. Ich gebe den Teilnehmern die Bücher. Den Teilnehmern is dative, indirect object. Die Bücher is direct object. Normally, dative is before accusative. There is one exception. When the dative object is a pronoun, then it will be after. Okay, what I'm trying to say. I give the books to them. Sorry, I apologize. When the direct object is a pronoun, okay, so when the direct object happens to be a pronoun, it will be placed before the dative object. So ich gebe den Teilnehmern die Bücher. If I replace die Bücher with the correct pronoun, it will be third party plural, right? They. So it is die Bücher, so it is sie. Ich gebe sie den Teilnehmern. Now, if I replace die Bücher with a pronoun, it will be sie, and it is placed here and not after the dative one. It's a very small detail. It may be important for an exam. In real life, I don't think it matters that much. One thing you should do if you want to learn, I think we already had this, not just for this Konjunktiv II, but like if you want to learn German, right, the best way to learn German is to interact in German. Now, how will you interact in German? I know, like, if you talk to your colleagues, they might get bored after some time. They may be very excited in the beginning. If you say, "Hey, can I talk to you in German?" Yes, they are happy, but after some time, your broken German will start giving them headaches. But there is another option, right? You can watch movies. When you watch any movie, podcast, whatever, you are actually interacting with someone, right? If you think I'm wrong, just watch something ugly on TV, and you will get this. What do you say? I mean, you feel this in your body, right? If you watch something nice, you will you feel good. That means you're actually interacting with the guys on the screen. Now people say watch German movies. This is a very bad advice if you ask me. Don't watch any random movie. What you do is you make a list of movies that you like to watch again and again. For example, for me it is, I don't want to tell you what I like to watch, but let's go with Two and a Half Men, or let's go with Peaky Blinders. These are series. I have watched them n number of times. If you show me any screen, any scene of those, I will tell you what they are talking about. I like them so much. So again, you have to rewatch your favorite binge watched movies and now watch them with German audio. I apologize for this. I don't know, something is going on in my locality. You watch them with German audio, and please do not use any subtitles. If you use subtitles, it will not work. Okay. And why do you need subtitles? It's your favorite movie. You know what they are talking about. You don't need to understand. Just watch it. And in the beginning, first week it will not work. You may not. You'll think, man, this is really boring. Just give it 1 week. After 1 week, it will become your habit, and this is the easiest way to interact in German. Of course, this is one-way interaction. Like one person, like the guys on the screen are talking and you are listening, but it works. Please believe me, it will work. Now, yeah, I thought we will do this very quickly today, and then we will move on to the agenda of today's sessions. It looks like we cannot do that. Let's see. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's do just some. I mean, I wanted to go over all of this. I thought we'll finish this very quickly, 10 minutes, but it took more time than I expected. All of this we'll do in next session. Let's go back here and let's do some watch charts. So please tell me, how do I these verbs? So again, if you are new first time session, this is, you should do this, every day. You should buy a book from Euroshop, wherever you can buy it from, and every day each page you divide into four parts. In the first part you write all the new nouns that you think you learned, and only write those nouns which you think that are important for your life. Don't learn any random nouns. Then the second should be for verbs, third should be for adjectives, adverbs, fourth one should be for any phrases that you think, for example, wie geht's dir, ich mir geht's gut, na klar, immer noch, something like that. Or any idioms that you can learn. For example, the Zug ist abgefahren, the train has left, bro. So please tell me, what does these things mean? Länger, breiter. I think it should be dicker and not dick. I apologize. It should be dicker. How do I say this? What does these things mean, guys, in German?
Long.
No, no, noun, noun.
Die lange Length,
Breadth.
die breite Breadth,
Right, right. This one, dicker. It's not dick. It's dicker. Yeah,
fatness
Thickness.
or broadness,
yeah.
breadth.
Thickness. Right. Yeah. There is this actual, adjective. It is a dick, like just, and it means what, guys? If I say du bist
Fat.
dick, fat. Like.
Fat.
Briefcast is obvious. You all have it. This is where you receive. I mean, this is important. Okay, again, these are important. Mule. It's obvious. What's mule?
Or mule.
Garbage,
It should be. There's mistake. It should be umlaut. Garbage. Trash. Difference between mule toner and Muleheimer.
mule toner is big garbage can.
And Muleheimer.
It's a small dustbin.
Yeah, I mean, so Muleheimer is what you have in your house. Mule toner is where you take your trash. Like the entire building where they throw it. Mule toner. Strom.
Electricity,
Yes. Treppenhaus. Just go on. Don't wait for people to
Treppenhaus.
listen.
Staircase,
No, you're thinking,
Clouds.
one second. You're thinking, where do I need this Treppenhaus? Think, if you met someone in your building and if you want to talk about them, like, where did you meet them? Im Treppenhaus.
yeah.
Continue.
Die Wolke, the cloud.
Yeah.
Die Muskel,
Muscles.
Muscle.
the
How do you say
finger.
muscle cramps, guys? If you go to gym and if you do more exercise than you should do, what you have muscle cramps, right? How do you say muscle cramps? How do you? Okay, let's say, how do you say hangover? Let's say if you drink too much and the next day you will have hangover. How do you say hangover? It's the same word. Funny. It's kata. Muskelkater, and then okay, continue.
Okay.
See, you have a finger is finger. Next one, please read. How do you read this one?
Budget,
No, buje. Okay, again, I think you should read this like I mean, there are some words where you have to understand it. It's buje. Okay, buje means budget. Next, please go through the list and tell me the meanings. You can give me a sentence. I don't mind.
To pour.
Yeah. Pour what? Example.
To water the plants.
Yeah, but you cannot use it when you're taking shower, right? Because I mean, some people, for example, I used to, for example, I mean, it's only for like pouring water on plant, right? I mean, as fun you can use, let's say you have a friend who never takes a shower, and you can say, heute müssen wir ihn gießen, today we have to like water this person because he never takes shower. But again, only in a fun way. But literally, it only means you can only use it with respect to flowers. Continue.
To renovate.
Yes.
To feed.
Feed.
Yes, but you cannot use it for a grown-up person, right? It can only be for
Animals.
animals, right? But you will see this, normally, I mean, I was living in a society here in Germany, and it was like kind of like doors were always open. Don't ask me where I was living. So this couple, they had a kid, and they bought this. So everybody wanted to feed the kid, and then what they bought a chair for this kid, and just behind the kid they wrote something, Futen is verboten. Again, it was fun, but they wrote, you know what I'm saying. So literally it means something, but you can also use it in a fun way, you know. So they said like you cannot feed our kid. Next one, please.
Thing.
Stink, of course. Yes.
It's excited. Excitement.
No. Again, I don't think you need this verb. It's just the opposite of
To relax.
no, entspannen is to relax. What is spannen? So spannen, you don't need this in real. I don't know why I wrote it. Just wanted to tell you that spannen is the opposite of entspannen, and it means, you know, to stress someone. If you take a rod and you feel, and this is from like, you know, like you need, but like if you take something and you start stretching it, that is spannen. You know, you are like you are adding tension to it. Again, I don't think that you need this, but okay. Next three ones, guys.
Sperren to lock.
Lock what?
And
Lock gate. Lock with key.
Yes, you can
no.
use that. Not exactly. I mean, it's not wrong,
You
but
want to close the
sorry.
area. If you want to close a particular area or something.
Yes, also, but you can also use it. For example, files. You know, whenever you get income tax statement from your bank, it is always gesperrt. You know, it is always locked. That's what is the? How do you say? If you came to German student, you must have had a block count, right? What do you say? Block account in German? How do you say account?
Konto.
Das Konto.
Konto. It's Sperrkonto. Okay, Entsperren. Yeah. Before we continue, what is Entsperren?
Unlock.
Oh, I just said
To unlock.
unlock, you know. So now this will be, you know, like whenever you have to, or whenever you get income tax statement, you have to unlock the file. Okay, then the next one,
To
Sperren
save.
to
to
save.
save.
But what save what?
Save
Can I
money.
use this for a file?
No, to save
No.
money
Yes,
with
to save
discounts.
money, right? To save time. Okay. I think the call will end in 1 minute, guys. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you learned something. Yes, the call will end any time. So I just want to say thank you. Otherwise, we can continue. So lang, bright, dick is the same thing, but it's an adjective. This one, guys, wasserdicht,
Waterproof.
waterproof, right? What you schießen is actually a verb. It should not be here. Schießen should be here. To shoot, to kick. Call will end in 10 seconds, guys. Thank you very much for joining. The call will end.
Ja, vielen Dank.
Sehr gerne. Bis Donnerstag.
Ciao.